end of the year. So thank you everybody for attending my end of the year synopsis of how the Browns played this year. I would tell you it was invaluable for us this year in setting a foundation that we think that's going to put our team in the direction that we want to be able to achieve sustainable success. I guess the simple term for me, I would say, is the word, it was necessary. You know, we went through this year, the things that we embodied and the things that we kind of accomplished this year brought us back to seeing the good and the bad. There's positives and negatives. I would say that there's two sides to this season. We started in a direction where there were some positives early, and then there were some negatives late. I think those are obvious, and I think in that instance, we've learned a lot about ourselves. We learned a lot about our culture. We learned a lot about that foundation that we're trying to lay, and it's not perfect right now, and it's going to require us sanding some edges and making some adjustments, and we recognize that. I would also say that it's we're obviously not happy with how things finished up at the end of the season. Our goals are to sustain winning over a long period of time here, and we fell short of that goal this year. I'd also like to say that, you know, from my point, I think it'd be a discredit to the players, the staff, the coaches, everyone that was involved in this thing, not to really requisitely look at the positives that were accomplished this year. You know, bringing meaningful football to Cleveland in the month of December. So I think something we should hang our hats on and be positive about, as well as the ability to start to establish a culture of creating accountability. The next man up philosophy, I think that Pet talked about during the course of the year, was important for us, and moving this foundation and this franchise forward towards our goals at the end of the day is really what we're focused on here. So there's a lot of things that we really want to make sure we get across. I think that from Coach Pettine, Jimmy Haslam, Alex Shiner, myself, all believe that at the end of the day, this is about creating a culture where we consistently win, and at the end of the day, we find a way to bring championships to the city of Cleveland.
How do you think Mike Pettine did in his first year as head coach?
Excellent. I like Pet. I think he's a really good coach. I think that he's very deliberate with our players. He's very deliberate with his messaging. He's very aware and astute of the things that need to happen and transpire, and he carries that message forward on a daily basis. And I think the guys in the locker room respect him. I think they play their hearts out for him, and I think he was absolutely right in his comments the other day about the respect necessary for those guys that went out on the field on Sunday and tried to get us a victory in Baltimore. And granted, we came up short, but our guys played hard, and I think that's a true testament to who Mike Pettine is.
Is there anything he has to work on, do you think?
Yeah, I think we all have things to work on. I think that's part of what we're building here is that there is a level of self-accountability. I think we constantly look at each other and question, man, what did you do, not what did you do right, but what did you do wrong? Because as we fix those things that are wrong, we'll get better. It's not about accentuating the positives all the time for us. It's about really, truly being critical and looking at the negatives for what we've done wrong this past year and trying to grow those.
Right, 16 games later, how do you assess your first draft?
I would say undetermined. I think 16. You know, we have a lot of pieces to the puzzle that came in, and there's guys that contributed. There's pieces that played well. There's pieces that didn't play. And so the sample size for some of those players is not great enough for anybody to say this is great, this is bad, this is whatever. Again, I'm more into the let's take our time and see where guys develop into. And at the end of the day, some guys contributed right away, other guys didn't. And I think that's a part of the process.
So John has to be back here on Monday because he's an injured guy?